Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Stevie B. Welcome back to Breaking It Down with Brown. We're doing another fork and knife video today. I'm playing my first match. Oh, hold on, I gotta pick a fucking jump spot. Creaky Compound, let's go. I'm doing my first match of the new season of Fortnite. Why am I making another Fortnite video? I know I sporadically make Fortnite videos here and there because I love Fortnite. I really do, and this new season is badass, so I want to check it out a bit on camera. But I also want to use this as a backdoor chance to talk about a topic that I wanted to talk about on stream today, but I didn't do a stream because I decided I'd rather play video games than do my talking stream today. Not that it's not going to happen again or anything, I just wanted to take a break again. I know I took a break last week, but I want to talk about while we check out the new jungle. And look how awesome my PlayStation 4 is with these textures not loading in at all. Okay, Silver Surfer's dropping in next to me. Or no, it's Kakashi with the Silver Surfer board. Let me find a gun first, hold on. I want to try, I have a tradition of winning my first match of every Fortnite season, and I don't want to break it this time, right? Come on, let's get a gun and kill Kakashi. Okay, we got the quad shotgun back, right? Is that what that's called? I want to talk about Mortal Kombat 1, okay? I was going to talk about that today on stream a little bit, as well as other topics, but we're just going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1 right now. I want to complain about Mortal Kombat. I love fighting games. I actually had, speaking of Mortal Kombat 1 and fighting games, this whole conversation is going to be about fighting games in general, but with Mortal Kombat 1 as the first thing of the discussion. No! Let's go, baby! Okay, we're going to talk about, let me heal myself up somehow. We're going to talk about fighting games in general, because I had this discussion about fighting games with my wife at Panda Express yesterday. I'm sitting at Panda Express, I'm eating my fucking orange chicken, and I don't really know how we got on the, oh, you know what, I know where it is. I know how we got on the topic conversation, because we were just watching the Summer Games Fest, which was yesterday. We were watching it before we went out for lunch. We're sitting there, we're eating Panda Express. I started talking about my disdain for how fighting games are made. They're pretty shiesty, you know what I'm saying? There isn't a lot of conversation about how detrimental fighting games are to their own communities and to their own series and things like that. And kind of the way of, I would say, not as egregious, but kind of similar to sports games. How you get the new Madden game, and not me, of course, because I'm not gay, but if you get the new Madden game every year, every time that the new one comes out, it's got a feature in the game that, I'm seeing some stuff on the map here for a challenge. Let's find some stuff over here. Let's get another kill. Let's kill the clone trooper. It's Cody. It's Sergeant Cody. He got no clue. He's got no clue. He's got, boom, baby. No! Excuse me. Okay, so I lost my first match. Anyways, I also realized I've never won a match of Fortnite on camera. Out of every Fortnite video I've made, I've never won a match. So maybe we'll see if I can complain about fighting games until I win a match today. Picking up where I left off, we're sitting at Panda Express, we're talking about fighting games, and as I was saying, it's like a sports game, like a Madden game, where every year the new game comes out. And fighting games are not as frequently as every year. Fighting games are every 5 years or so, right? Something like that. 4 years maybe. But the sports games, a Madden game or a 2K game, anything like that. Can I just jump on this thing? Let's go, boys. Okay. A sports game will come out every year, and it's got it'll be missing half the features from the year before, but the half of features that are missing will make up for by regaining the other half of features that missed from the year prior. So it's just this kind of, and Angry Joe talks about this a lot. Angry Joe is a big advocate for specifically Madden, but sports games in general, about how, can I hatch this egg? What's up with this? About how shitty, you know, sports games companies are. Oh, I broke his heart. I broke his heart. How shitty sports game companies are and their practices and how they do these things, and fighting games are no different. You'll have let's say a majority one rendition of a, it seems to be at least one or two renditions of a fighting game series, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, whatever, Tekken, per console generation. Usually one, I think, a little more frequent as of late. And it'll be, you know, it'll have what are these, steal notes or read notes? Does it matter which one I do? Okay, I'll just read them. Reports confirm the chalice of Cubitastrophe is in the rainforest. Okay. Let's check that. Can I steal this? Steal field notes. Okay, then I shall steal them. But they'll have the main players, you know, you'll have people like Mortal Kombat, you're going to have Scorpion, you're going to have Sub-Zero, whatever. But then they will rip you off at some point. There's going to be characters that are missing that were on the roster in the last game that are going to be DLC, or they're going to skip a game and come back, you know? They're going to take a year off, or not a year, you know what I mean? They're going to, I swear to God, if I fucking die again. Oh my God, reload, 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 reload. Fuck off. All right, third time's the charm. No excuses. No more pussyfooting. I'm doing this. Let's also hit these dailies. How about that? Bars from eliminated players. Loot a weapon from a supply drop zone. Or I guess we're going to... You know what? No, we're not going to go to the hotspot where everyone's going to go, the new place. Let's go to Lonely Labs. Anyways, back on Shang Tsung specifically is what comes to mind for me really quick for when we're talking about fighting games and how you're losing characters and characters are coming back. If we look back, I just Googled some of it too to refresh my mind. Mortal Kombat 10 pre-order bonus was Goro. I don't know. Now, I have also always pre-ordered these games. I get all these characters, so I'm not missing out. But it's still bad for people who do miss out if you don't get to pre-order the game or something. I'm not sure if there's an option to get these characters post-haste after the game has come out or anything like that. But for the last 3 installments of Mortal Kombat, there has been a pre-order bonus character that if you pre-order the game, you get a character that you wouldn't get if you didn't pre-order it. For instance, number 10, you got Goro. Number 11 was Shao Kahn, and the new one is going to have Shang Tsung. Which, if I remember correctly, I don't think Shang Tsung was in 10, and he skipped 10 and 11, right? Or no, he was in 11, right? I don't even remember. Actually, I wish I still had 11. I traded it away to a friend, and I actually regretted it. I asked it for him back, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm actually really enjoying it." I'm like, "Ah, shit, dude. Okay, no bad. My bad. You know, that was a good game. I love all the Mortal Kombat games. I love NetherRealm. Some of my favorite fighting games, especially for casuals, and you just want to have a fun experience, especially with, I've been playing a lot lately, actually. The reason I'm even feeling passionate about this, wanting to talk about this, is I've been playing Injustice 2 a lot lately. Really good deal right now if you're watching this video at the time of release. Injustice 2 is fucking $3 on the PlayStation Store for the you know, all DLC included. So you can get all the DLC characters and stuff, which I've had the game forever, but I didn't have the DLC, so I never played with the DLC characters. And now $3, I mean, that's a steal of a deal. Instead of 20 per 3 characters, yeah, I'll pay $3 for all 10 of them or whatever. With that being said, out of all of these pre-order bonuses, these characters and things like that, the one thing I will say is that at least with Injustice 2, there was the pre-order bonus for Darkseid, if you're familiar with DC characters or Injustice, whatever, the character of Darkseid. And Darkseid, you can purchase him separately now, even though if you didn't pre-order the game, he is obtainable, right? But I believe it took some time until you could do that. Oh, new gun, flapjack rifle. Is this new? I don't think I've seen this yet. I like it. Nice and heavy. You could get him, but I think it did take some time till after release to keep him exclusive, so that it was like you couldn't, you know, to kind of make it like you couldn't get your hands on him for a little bit. And I think then they, you know, released him again, being able to buy him. And if memory serves me correctly, he costs more as a single character than any other character in Injustice 2's roster of DLC characters. Which is also, I want to talk about predatory practices, specifically for, I guess, Injustice, because I have that fresh in my mind, and I played those more than I played the Mortal Kombat games recently. The best example I can give you for those games specifically, which happens with every fighting game series, it's not normal, it's not just in NetherRealm's games, is that Injustice 1, you have Sinestro and Shazam, Nightwing, there's more if I can think. Characters like that, even the DLC characters, like they had Martian Manhunter and Raven, stuff like that. And those characters are nowhere to be seen in Injustice 2. Not as DLC characters or even the base roster or anything. They're just gone. They're just gone from the game. And most of the time, you'll have these arguments from players and from the studios that make these games that, oh, well, you don't understand. It's hard to balance it, or we can only have so much. Or, you know, maybe I will say maybe the biggest thing would be with a game like Injustice, where it's not a game. It's not characters owned by the studio. It would be licensing issues, getting the rights to these characters, whatever they have to pay to have these characters show up in these games. But at the same time, dude, aside from guest characters, really, what is the point of not carrying over? If you are NetherRealm Studios and you own the rights to Mortal Kombat, and you are Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, and you are still working on the game to this day, making the roster, having hands-on, all this stuff, what is the excuse for every roster of characters not carrying over, even if they have the same moveset or whatever? You know, how hard, and then don't tell me it's a balancing issue. I understand licensing issues, but don't tell me it's a balancing issue when all you gotta do to balance a game is make sure that someone isn't easily exploitable. You know, like let's say Green Arrow is pretty easily exploitable. If you use Green Arrow in Injustice, you can spam his arrows and stuff like that. A lot of people that spam Superman's ability to shoot his laser beam eyes or whatever, sure, but you can do that with, you can find a way to spam and abuse any character. Other than that, balancing issues when it comes to stats, how much damage a character does, how much health they have, how easily they are defeated, things like that. That's just a number that you set in the code. So there is no excuse for you removing characters and stuff like that. It's FOMO. It's fear of missing out. It's to make you purchase a game. You know, you don't get Mortal Kombat 9, and there's a character, which by the way, Mortal Kombat 9 was probably the best Mortal Kombat, but you don't get Mortal Kombat 9, and you get Mortal Kombat 10. And the character, you know, there's a character you liked in 9 that wasn't in 10. You're like, oh shit. You know, and then 11's coming around, and they bring that character back. And you're like, oh, well, they're going to have that character I like to play, so I'm going to go play that game, you know, get that game again specifically because I can have that one. And then you decide, you know, to keep up with it and just get each release, so the game gets released again, and you decide to get the next one. What number are we on now? 12 or whatever I'm thinking in my mind. Theoretically, not specifically these games, just using them as an example. Then you get that game again, and that character's missing again, and you feel kind of burned, I guess. Especially if it's your main or something like that. But as far as I can remember, I think I've always been safe because my main in Mortal Kombat is Kung Lao, and he's been in pretty much every game. He's a main player. But that's what I'm talking about. What is, you know, honestly, it's one of the most infuriating things to me that I was talking about when I was having lunch with my wife about how it's just something I'll never be able to wrap my head around, and it's something I can argue about for hours and just keep going and just never cease on, because I will never understand. You'll never get me to understand why they would do such things, because think about it, it's one of those things that's detrimental to, I think, to everyone involved. Because if you are a fan of fighting games or these characters or anything like that, if Mortal Kombat 1, right, which is actually Mortal Kombat 12 or whatever, and that's not counting, I don't know if they count, you know, how many spin-offs there are in Mortal Kombat or different versions. I'm not that well versed in the lore of Mortal Kombat other than like the first 2 original games, and then there's tons of stuff on different generations of consoles that I'm not familiar with, things like that. But could you just imagine if it was the same roster every year, even if it's the same movesets for the same characters, but every year they add 5 or 10 new characters, and we get all the way to 12, and we have like over 100 unique characters now. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you can still tweak the movesets and stuff like they do, things like that, whatever. But I mean, how many characters? You know, we don't know the final roster for Mortal Kombat 1 as of now. But what we do know, at the very least, if you are, you know, using this as the example, if you are familiar with the Mortal Kombat lore at all, the storyline, if you played the last couple games and you know the direction Mortal Kombat 1 is going on, the reason why it's called Mortal Kombat 1 is because they're rebooting the game again. They reboot the game damn near every year. They reboot the goddamn game, and that's their excuse, they'll say, to take people out of the roster. And it's a way to make it so it's more accessible to normies and people who, and you know, no offense, but people who don't know the storyline, things like that, to jump on or whatever and say, oh, this is a, you know, this is a jumping on point. You can get in and play now and not, you know, have to know anything prior to know what's going on. So do you think that any of those legacy characters from Mortal Kombat 11, the children of the main characters, Cassie Cage and see, I don't even know the names other than was it Nia Jax, all those characters, do you think they're going to return? Do you think they're going to be in Mortal Kombat 1? No, they're not, because it's a new timeline. As they said, it's a reboot. Everything has reset, so all those characters effectively never existed. So what was the point of making those characters? What was the point of making Mortal Kombat 11 a jumping on point for people with new characters and things like that if these characters all got erased and removed? And guess what? You know what sucks? If this is a true reboot and they're being serious about it and they're actually rebooting it and they really mean it this time and like they're going to continue going forward and we're going to get a Mortal Kombat 2 supposedly, let's call it that, let's say that's what they want to name it when we get another one, is it going to have those kids again? Probably, right? The storyline's going to continue and we're going to get the characters that were in Mortal Kombat 11 are now in Mortal Kombat 2, right? Probably. And they're going to find a way to make you pay for DLC characters as well that are going to be some of those characters, I'm sure. And I'm not that I'm excited about those characters or anything like that, but at the same point, when it comes to fighting games, I'm always like, please add more characters. And I guess the best example of this would be arcade fighters that are, and by arcade I mean like, not like in an arcade, but arcadey fighters that are like 3D arena fighters that are like not really serious. Like the best example I can think of off the top of my head are the two examples. The Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi games, there was 3 right back in the day on the PlayStation 2 and all that, and GameCube, I believe. Throughout all 3 of those games, every game that came out, it kept the same roster. And every game that came out added more people. And they did that with, I could be wrong, but I'm most certain that happened with the Naruto Ninja Storm games. And they made like 4 or 5 of those, and they're still making another one's coming out, a remaster or a remake or something is coming out later this year, if not next year. I forgot what it's called. I think it's maybe called Storm Generations. I could be wrong. But they keep making that shit, and guess what? They just keep adding more and more characters, dude. They're not removing characters, but it's not like a real serious fighting game or anything. Not that even Mortal Kombat's still seen as serious and still showed up. It shows up Evo and stuff and has a serious competitive scene, right? But it's still a lot more accessible than Street Fighter, let's say. And I know that's funny saying that now with Street Fighter 6 now being the most accessible it's ever been, but that's my example. Or Tekken, for instance, yeah. But I'm getting dried out here. Sorry. I can go on for ages about this shit because it pisses me off. It really does. It makes absolutely no sense. And I wouldn't blame you if you never really thought about it. But this is something I think as fans of these games, even I'm not a competitive player. I'm not in the scene, whatever. But if you're a fan of any of these types of fighting games and you're a fan of the characters or anything like that, let's just say Mortal Kombat. Let's say you're not even a you're not into the competitive scene, anything like that, you don't play competitively, whatever, but Mortal Kombat is your favorite game series, and you care a lot about the world, the lore, the characters, and you're there and buy, their $100 edition every time it comes out. Wouldn't you just like it if all the characters were there? Oh, almost killed myself. Wouldn't you like it if all the characters were there, though, and you didn't miss anyone out from one installment to the next? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't connect in my brain, and I don't get it. Point blank, period. That's pretty much it. All right, heisted gun and kinetic boomerang. All right, with this boomerang, I can throw it and call it back when I want, or it'll come back on its own. So I can just do that and it'll come back, or I can throw it and call it back before it hits, or whatever, if I need it to come back soon. It seems to go wherever you throw it. Oh, look, it tracks a bit onto people. Nice. Let's get a twofer. There's one. There, 2. Nice, nicely done. All right, we've got 10 guys left. I think, third time's the charm. I think I can pull out a win here. I want to, oh, I almost fucked. Damn! All right, so it looks like we're going to continue the streak of never having won a match on camera. But that's fine. I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out today, but also highlight a little bit more of the new season of Fortnite. But let me know what you think about this whole Mortal Kombat problem, or just the fighting game problem in general, as I mean, this whole discussion I just had with myself. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me? Are you going to tell me that same shit that everyone keeps telling me, that it's just because of licensing or balance issues? Maybe you should stop letting companies nickel and dime you. Maybe you should care more about how much your money goes. And maybe you should want the companies that you spend all this amount of money on, these games that you love, these characters that you love, maybe you should want it all to be treated a lot better than it's being treated, and you to be treated better than you're being treated. Come on. Let's just ask for more, right? We're giving them everything else we have, right? Might as well ask for more. If you like this video, I really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. It means a lot to old Stevie B here. I do all kinds of content. If this is your first time watching this, you can always expect new content from me too. And by new, I mean different things. I'm always trying different things, always trying to see what sticks and what I enjoy doing. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you sticking around to the end and listening to an opinion that's different than your own. If you hated this video, you're probably a fan of iDubbbz. Your mother probably doesn't love you. You're probably a fan of Tetris. And you can go get bent.